Buenas noches, pioneros. Estamos otra vez en Mass Effect. Estamos en la estación espacial Nexus, donde lo habíamos dejado la última vez. Fuimos nombrados oficialmente pioneros tras la muerte del padre de Ryder. Y lo que vamos a hacer es explorar el Nexus, ver si podemos conseguir misiones, recursos, armas y otras cosas. Y después intentaremos seguir lo que es la historia. A ver cómo se presenta la noche. Vale, aquí tenemos misiones de asalto que nos decía que habláramos con Candros para recogerlo. Vale, vamos a verlo aquí. Pide la tira Candros autorización. Pues vamos allí.
That's the console for our strike teams.
What are they?
Assault and extraction squads. When we need the best, I have Apex, combat experts who've signed up to defend us. Since you have a front row view of the cluster, I can give you authority to dispatch them.
Autoridad para utilizarlos.
What situations should they handle?
Protecting civilian outposts holding key positions, or just distracting decay. Authorization complete. Good luck out there.
Inspecciona las misiones en los equipos de asalto. Vale. Equipos de asalto. Se pueden enviar equipos de asalto a misiones de apoyo para la iniciativa de Andrómeda. Si tienen éxito, ganarán puntos de experiencia y Ryder obtendrá una recompensa. Si fracasan, solo ganarán una pequeña cantidad de experiencia. No habrá recompensa especial. Apex. Es el mejor equipo de asalto del cúmulo y se ocupa de las misiones esenciales. Selecciona una misión y pulsa X para enviar a Apex. Tu progreso se guardará automáticamente antes de iniciar el multijugador. Entonces desempeñarás el papel de un agente de Apex en un pequeño pelotón. Juega misiones de Apex en multijugador con amigos o con matchmaking público para ganar recompensas de equipo de asalto para Ryder y bonificaciones adicionales. Por lo visto esto parece que es, como dice, para el multijugador. Tiempo límite de las misiones, recompensa por completarla con éxito y los demás rasgos o propiedades. Estas misiones están disponibles para todo equipo de asalto. Vuelve a diario para descubrir nuevas. Icono de describir la dificultad. Vale. Dificultad. Por lo visto esta es de dificultad bronce, plata, oro. Supongo que esta será bronce, ¿no? Sí. Vale, y tienes las tiras, ¿no? Las aspas. Dificultad máxima supongo que son las 3. Esta tiene una. Son 10 fondos de la misión. Caja de objetos de bronce. Caja de datos de investigación. Rasgos de misión. ¿Qué? Presencia alienígena. Componente clave de inteligencia. Rasgos de misión. Silenciosos y mortales. Misión nocturna. Vaya, me ha gustado esto. Enemigos por doquier y misión nocturna, vaya. Entre esa y la otra de bronce, vamos a darle a esta, que parece la más sencilla, ¿vale? Vale, esto sería para tal. Creo que en principio vamos a probar lo que es el equipo de asalto, ¿vale? Sí que le vamos a dar al cuadrado. No nos vamos a meter mucho en hacer un multijugador ahora, ¿vale? Ya si es otro día, con más paciencia y tiempo, pues pasaremos a ello. 74% de éxito. Bueno, está un poquito complicado por lo visto. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Esta es tu lista actual de equipos de asalto reclutados. Tenemos el Delta nivel 1. Selecciona un equipo con X para asignarle equipo especializado. Retira un equipo con el triángulo si quieres reclutar a otro en su lugar. Cuantos más equipos tengas, más misiones podrás emprender a la vez. Selecciona reclutar para reclutar a un nuevo equipo de asalto. Equipos de asaltos pueden conseguir rasgos positivos si tienen éxito en una misión y negativos si fracasan. Los rasgos de los equipos pueden alterar las posibilidades de éxito. Eso está bien. Si quieres más información, ¿vale? Cuadrado, veteranía, efectividad 5. Tengo 40 fondos de la misión. Y aquí cobraremos las misiones que terminemos. Por ahora no vamos a gastar fondos de la misión por si acaso. Estado de AP. Según el informe de la situación 16C, parece que no avanzamos en ningún sector. Si no conseguimos reconocer la zona ni obtener datos del enemigo, empiezo a pensar que nuestros esfuerzos son vanos. Difícil justificar los riesgos y la pérdida. No hay mucho que decir.
What am I going to do? It's not right. It's not fair.
What's wrong?
Oh my, you're... So it's true. A Pathfinder has found us. There's hope at last. Maybe you could help. You're impartial. This whole thing has gotten so political. My husband, he's locked up and slated for exile for a crime he didn't commit.
What exactly was he convicted of?
They don't exile you for petty theft. Well, maybe this bunch would. They say it's murder. They're calling him the first murderer in Andromeda, but the dead man was his friend. He wouldn't have. There are witnesses and evidence, but it's all circumstantial. At worst, it was an accident. His name is Nilken Rensis. He could give you the details if you were willing to speak with him. Please.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure the jailer will allow you a visit. Please, tell Nilken I love him.
Bueno, hemos conseguido una misión secundaria. Si no me equivoco, esta era la armería. A ver. Comerciante de armas. Sargento Acker.
Help you?
Pathfinder Rider, here to see Nilken Rensis.
Ah, our murderer. Wife's here all the time. Guess she told you her sob story. Nilken, you're moving up in the world. There's a Pathfinder wanted to chat with you.
A Pathfinder, huh? They called in the big guns to exile Andromeda's first murderer.
I'm not here to exile you. Told your wife I'd look into things.
At this point, it's too late. They found me guilty.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
I was part of the futile effort to set up a colony on Eos. We were on our last legs, overrun by hostiles, our leader dead. The security chief, Reynolds, my friend, he refused to call for evacuation. I argued with him. Everyone saw.
So when he was killed, people assumed you did it?
For good reason. He ordered us to regroup and counterattack. We were moving through a sandstorm. I saw movement, thought it was the Ket, and I guess I panicked and fired. Witness saw the chief's chest explode.
Sounds like an accident.
That's what I told them. But I was enraged when we argued. There's a recording. It's ugly. Everyone's certain I did it on purpose so we could evacuate. Only my word otherwise.
Pues sí.
I'll check out the evidence. Maybe something doesn't add up.
It'd be nice to have someone with an open mind looking at it. You're a Pathfinder. I'm sure Kandros would give you access. Maybe there's still hope.
Kandros. Vaya, odio que corra tanto.
I know that look. The others bent your ear, did they?
Something like that?
You get used to it. Just focus on being a Pathfinder. Can't argue with results, though they'll try. Anyway, welcome to Militia HQ. Excuse the mess. This office fields militia work, Nexus security, and looking for the Turian Ark.
What's the word on the Turian Ark?
Scattered readings. Some indicate the Natanus was destroyed, others that people are alive. Who knows? If you need anything, come see me, even if it's just a vent.
What brought you out here to Andromeda?
I was tired of being the good one.
The good one?
The Kandros family is old military. There were expectations, you know. Then my sister became a sculptor, and cousin Irene went pirate on Omega. Everyone was proud that I stayed in service. But I kept wondering, when do I get my adventure? Jen Garson's dream was so grand, so gutsy, I had to be part of it.
You talk like you weren't part of the leadership. How did you end up commanding the militia?
I was escorting a prospecting team on some moon when we ran into a species we'd never seen before. They penned us like cattle for experiments. I managed to get loose, snatched a gun, and freed the others. By the time we killed the bastards and headed back to warn the Nexus, everyone looked at me like I was in charge.
That sounds familiar.
The militia grew from there. Funny, once the heat is on, all kinds of people rise to the top.
My team ran into some not-so-friendly locals on the way here.
Bony crests, advanced tech, merciless sons of bitches. They're called the Ket. We've sighted them on several worlds already. I've seen how dangerous they are firsthand. They could take the Nexus apart. Someday Addison will, believe me.
What do you know about the enemies we've encountered? The Ket.
We usually see them on worlds with those alien structures. The Ket don't take kindly to anyone studying them. Not sure why. They don't talk to us. Every time we cross paths, there's a fight or they take prisoners.
Why? What do they want?
No one knows. But I've seen their weaponry and what they do to those prisoners. I want them a long, long way from the Nexus.
Are the other Turians managing okay?
So. We're not good at sitting around in a crisis. Service before self gets drummed into us at boot camp. That's probably why so many of us are in the militia. We like to earn our citizenship, whatever galaxy we're in. But it's hard to focus with our arc missing.
It's rough out there. I might need backup, if you can spare the people.
I have strike teams specializing in assault and extraction. If you need serious firepower, my Apex teams have you covered. But that isn't news to you, right?
Pues bueno, adiós y
You and me both, Pathfinder.
Y volvemos a hablar con él.
No news on the Turian Ark yet. Or is this militia business?
Pasemos al caso del
I spoke
asesinato.
with Nilk and Rensis, the man found guilty of the murder on Eos.
Yes, our first murder here in Andromeda. I wish it had been our last. When the colony attempts failed, it didn't help spirits that a high-ranking officer was killed by one of our own. The mutiny here on Nexus was probably inevitable, but this acted as a spark.
It doesn't seem right to put all that on him.
Of course it isn't, but that's the perception. Despite the lack of physical evidence, everything added up. His only defense was, trust me, I didn't mean to do it.
That is the difference between murder and accidental death.
In this case, motive plus opportunity plus eyewitness account equals murder. Look, knock yourself out. A key witness, Cassidy Shaw, works in operations. Go ahead and talk to her. And there's a recording of the perpetrator threatening the victim. I'll let you cue it up on the console there. As far as I'm concerned, this case is closed.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
Reproduce la grabación y habla con Saul. Habla con Kes. El Nexus tiene muchos departamentos para móviles. Para estar al tanto de su disposición debes conocer a los diversos líderes y personas importantes destacados allí. Estación del monorail. Monorail. Vaya, parece que Liam ha ganado un punto. Ah, no. Era de Cora. Tarda en cargar. Bueno. Estaba por aquí, creo, si no me equivoco. Vamos a ver qué nos cuenta Liam.
Pathfinder, no time for a beer yet. This place is a mess. Security is... let's call it strained.
I can believe it. The Nexus is running on empty.
Not just that. A lot of the exiles were security. Everyone was trained and armed for a frontier. We know Kel are dangerous, and now we have to worry about our people too. No idea where they went, but they left mad.
Démosles una oportunidad.
They were frustrated. If they just wanted to kill, they could have fought to the last here.
Apparently we're the big hope for everyone. Not the Hyperion showing. Just us. I'm with you. It's just... a lot.
As long as the Nexus is here, as long as we're here, we have a job to do.
Double down crisis mode. I can do that. We can do that. Ready and willing, Pathfinder.
Vale, a ver si encontramos... Vale, creo que era en el otro lado, vamos a ver. Aquí este es el archivo de seguridad, pero ¿dónde está el SAU ese? Misiones, diario. A ver, otra vez el mapa. Por aquí no es. Es hacia aquí. Entonces el archivo que encontramos ahí.
The Nexus versus Colonist Milken, evidence 7A.
Hiram! Hiram! They've seized the compound! Call for evacuation! We're not giving up, Milken. We're taking it back. No! I'm not letting your ego get us killed! Even if I have to... No! Get him off me! Get him off me!
Vale, ahora es hablar con la testigo Sau. Vamos a ver en dónde está. No, no es ninguno de estos.
I still reckon they had breathing.
Profesor Eric.
You must be the Pathfinder. Wonderful. You and your Sam are exactly what we need.
Thanks, Mr.
Professor Hearing, my colleagues and I will work with your Sam and the data you gather to solve Andromeda's scientific mysteries.
What fields do you study?
Eric's into life sciences. I do planetary geology, oceanography, rocks and runoff. Aradata's is space and math whiz.
Not that we've had much to study, with everyone cooped up for 14 months.
But your data on the Scourge flows like poetry. Now we can better advise on repairing the damage it caused.
And maybe Addison will give us a real workspace. Who can think with all this racket?
Pathfinder, we've had some trouble.
Anything I can help with?
Perhaps. I discharged an away team to get readings from a section of the Scourge that was behaving anomalously. They haven't reported in for some time, and sensors can't locate their shuttle. I sent them out there.
Parece que este grupo de científicos también nos darán misiones.
Don't give up hope. When I'm out there, I'll see if I can find them.
Their friends and family will want to know what's happened, and I need to know.
Pues sí, nos ha dado una misión.
Pathfinder, those bioscans are superb. Could you gather more for our comparative conservation effort?
What conservation effort?
Ah, my thesis is on the console there. Broad strokes, we're comparing and preserving organisms from both galaxies. If you donate more bioscans and samples to the catalog, I can get you a finder's fee. Tempted?
Y aquí estaba el otro, a ver qué me suelta.
Hi, Pathfinder. Want to hit some rocks for science?
Absolutely. What do you need?
Sam and I used your scans and made a VI for geophysics surveys. Beta builds on the console there. Test it out in the field, and I'll wrangle you a consultant's bonus from Director Addison. How's that sound?
Vale, ya tenemos varias misiones. Supongo que esto es para farmear materiales de menas que nos podrán servir mucho. Aquí hay un contenedor. ¿Esto sería una escopeta? ¿Podría ser? Vale, equipar con el triángulo. Vamos a cogerlo todo. Escopeta, sí. Vale, no nos deja equipar. Vaya, a lo mejor debí de haberle dado puesto a equipar. Bueno, vamos a escuchar el archivo. Vale, por lo visto esto es de lo que ocurrió mientras no estábamos. Control de daños. Durante tu ausencia hubo un motín en el Nexus. La situación no tardó en descontrolarse. Creemos que empezó con un incendio en hidroponía y un robo en el arsenal. Mucha gente se dejó arrastrar. Los líderes, incluida la asesora directora de seguridad, nos traicionaron conscientemente. Se ha intentado catalogar y evaluar los daños causados por la gente de Sloan durante el levantamiento, pero de manera testimonial. Suministros robados, material destrozado, cosas así. Confiaba en que la milicia interviniera y redactara un informe oficial. Es fundamental que sepamos con qué recursos contamos. Control de daños. Mi gente tiene que centrarse en defender la estación, no en hacer inventarios. Si de verdad necesitas que la milicia supervise el trabajo, le dirá al sargento Nels. Dicho esto, pensaba que los Elicidados eran más seguidores de Calix que de Sloan. Calix Corvanis lo instigara, pero Sloan dejó claro con quién se alineaba. Sé que te tenían alta estima y espero que seas imparcial en esta misión. Sloan Kelly me tenía engañado. No habrá ningún problema. ¿No te importará enviar un equipo de reconocimiento pequeño y discreto para averiguar el paradero de Sloan y los exiliados? No quiero sorpresas cuando empecemos con la colonización. Hemos perdido la pista de Sloan, supongo. Encontramos campamentos abandonados en el sistema Pfeiffer, pero ninguno con habitantes vivos, solo con cementerios. La conspiradora Irida estaba entre los fallecidos, pero Sloan no. Bueno, parece que eso eran mensajes de correo entre el director Khan y el tal Kandros. Vamos a seguir buscando a la SAU esa. Vale, aquí está el dinosaurio raro ese. Otro día la misma mierda. El Nexus es un circo de 4 pistas. No me gusta lo que hace Tan y su desdén por los Krogan es evidente. En última instancia tiene buenas intenciones, pero es un oportunista que genera disensiones. Si no se le controla, no creo que el Nexus tenga futuro. Ya está aislando a Addison, quien se ha puesto a la defensiva. Creo que puedo hablar con Kandros del tema, al menos para coordinarnos nosotros dos, ¿o no? Estoy hasta las narices de tanto drama.
Yes, I know the Hyperion docking unannounced caused some switches to blow. That's fine. I don't care. There you are. Hope the others haven't been giving you a hard time. There's a lot that needs doing. At least with the Hyperion hooked up and feeding us power, my team and I can get more work done.
Paradero de los Krogan.
I noticed there aren't a lot of Krogan around.
You haven't spoken to number 8 yet, have you?
Number 8?
Tam. Ask him why most of my people left. He'll have opinions. I can tell you this much. When the mutiny happened, a deal was made. My clan were supposed to settle matters and, in return, get more say in the initiative.
Why do you call Tan 8?
Because he was 8th in line to take over the Andromeda initiative. I
Vaya,
like to
el
remind him of
octavo.
that now and then. Keep him humble.
Did the deal go through?
The clan held up their part, but Tan had a meltdown when he found out we wanted more say around here. Then Addison's assistant, Spender, pretended he never made the deal in the first place. It was a mess, but I don't blame my people for walking out. We're done being used.
With your clan gone, why did you stay?
It's complicated. The station and my clan both need me here.
What kind of work do you do as superintendent?
I was part of the team that originally designed and built this place. I keep the station functional, or as functional as possible, considering.
What sort of problems have you seen on the Nexus?
Situation's gone to shit pretty much sums it up. There's Arch missing. Some idiots tried to mutiny and take over, then more idiots offended my clan, so they left. And to top it all off, the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, was killed.
What happened to Jean Garson?
Killed in the Scourge disaster. Her and a bunch of the other leaders. Tan might know more.
And I thought the Hyperion had it bad when we arrived. Anything else?
The outposts aren't happening because we don't have resources or people, so Addison's more uptight than ever. And let's not forget how badly the station was damaged on arrival. But that's a detail, according to some. My team and I are repairing what we can. If we don't get materials soon, things will go downhill. Fast.
When we left the Milky Way, the Krogan were still dealing with the genophage.
Right. The genophage. A little gift to our people from the Solarians thousands of years ago. That sterility virus they infected us with left most of our children stillborn. Only 1 in 1,000 survive.
No wonder your people have such a problem with Solarians.
Some wounds never heal. Not that my ancestors didn't provoke it. They did try to conquer the galaxy. The Solarians were forced to respond. And it's not fair to blame it all on them, either. The Solarians developed the virus, but it was the Turians who deployed it. I'm hoping that's all in the past. Plenty of blame to go around, but Andromeda is about new beginnings. My people need that more than most.
La genofagia es parecida. No quiero entrar en mucho, pero podría compararse al
There's
VIH.
no cure for it. But my clan was starting to show mutation against the virus. A natural defense. During the trip to get here, Krogan underwent gene therapies to enhance the mutation while we were in stasis.
So you used those 600 years to your advantage. Gave the adaptation more time to develop.
Yeah. It's still early, but I think we made a dent. Our scientists say we've improved viability to almost 4%, which is a lot better than what we had. Beyond all the statistics, it means more Krogan children will live. It's the only way my people have a future out here.
Nothing more for now.
Good luck out there.
Bueno, vamos a ver si encontramos al Sau ese. Vale, Cassidy Sau.
Cassidy Shaw? I'm Ryder. I'm looking into the Nilken murder case.
Oh man, I thought that was over with. Have you heard the audio recording of their fight?
Yes.
I helped pull him off Chief Reynolds. You could see it in his eyes. He was gonna kill him. Then in the sandstorm, I had a pretty clear view of the Chief. He looked right at Nilken and shouted, "No." Then his chest burst open. I'll never forget it. The look on his face was pure shock.
Did you see any cat in the vicinity?
Nilkin said so, but not that I could see. Still, the sandstorm was severe. Visibility wasn't great.
Did Nilkin seem remorseful?
I lost sight of Nilkin in the turmoil. When we found him, he seemed in shock. He couldn't speak. He looked nauseated. Could have been killed. The reality of the act sinking in.
If they'd fought and Nilkin threatened to kill him, why was Reynolds surprised?
Fronts fight, say things they don't mean, maybe even hurt each other. But you don't expect your best friend to shoot you. To me, that's the saddest part. The Chief's heart was broken right before it exploded.
Reynolds was leading you back to retake the compound. Did you agree with that?
It wasn't my place to agree or disagree. He was ranking officer. In retrospect, it is ironic. If he hadn't been killed, we all probably would have died.
I appreciate the information.
Of course. It kills me we had to leave him behind. He deserved a proper funeral.
So the body was never examined? Important piece of a murder investigation.
Tian wouldn't allow a mission to go back for him. Said it was too dangerous.
Bueno, vamos a ver qué más hay por aquí. Este es Addison.
All right, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything. And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec.
Un poco complicado, ¿no? ¿Qué le vamos a decir? ¿Quieres saber qué le pasó a Alec? Pues que está muerto.
I don't want to get into it. Things went wrong, and now I'm the one you have to deal with.
Alec Ryder wouldn't accept that kind of ultimatum. Damned if I would. We'd never have left home if we... Not home. The Milky Way. This is home. This mess. We don't have a lot of options, Ryder. Maybe you'll prove your father right. After 14 months of failed colonization, forgive me if I don't hold my breath.
How do you fit into the Nexus leadership?
I oversee the actual settlement effort. As the number of outposts is currently less than ideal, my influence is limited. As Tan is quick to remind me. Left a perfectly adequate career as a chief officer. Provincial capital, too. Only a new galaxy could pull me away. And here we are, idling.
You called my father Alec. No one does that.
A lot of us joined the initiative because of his vision. What he shared of it, anyway.
Were you friends? Or...
I'm not your new mother, if that's what you're asking. Or his friend. He hated that I didn't use his title. But no one's a pathfinder until they've path-found something. Much like a colonial director without colonies.
There must be some kind of plan for encountering hostile aliens. We can't have been that naive.
We expected life, not an enemy that refuses to talk. They don't attack, they disinfect. We're nothing until we're bacteria. Sorry, 14 months and you stoop to poetry. That's how bad it is. Talk to Kandros if you haven't. He's unfortunately become the head of our military. And as soon as he realizes it, we're in the shit.
You don't trust him?
I trust him to defend us. I do not trust a rising military influence in a supposedly civilian initiative. We came here to make history, Ryder, not repeat it. Ugh, goddamn poetry.
There's also the strange technology. Has anyone studied that?
We've tried. Not me. The brains in research. They're supposed to know their business. The current excuse? The tech we dug up on Mars was more advanced, but it was plug and go. The tech here thinks different? I don't know. We've mostly avoided it. And from what the Hyperion logs say about Alec, maybe that's good.
You've had no colony successes in over a year. How many tries is that?
Less than you'd think. The Scourge, spoiled worlds, exiles, hostiles. We can't just plop down an outpost and expect picket fences. We need the Pathfinder and Sam to scout, evaluate, and inspire. The initiative promised a goal. Andromeda has not cooperated.
And if it had?
Beautiful utopian horseshit. Colonies that produce and support each other. The Nexus a citadel, not headed by Tan, or even me.
Excuse me, Director Addison.
Ryder?
It's Pathfinder.
Ryder, we're starving here. If we don't get a foundation of outposts to feed the initiative, we might as well be 600 years dead. Alec promised a lot. None of it panned out. That's what you're up against. Why people won't trust you. Why I don't trust you. Prove me wrong.
Bueno, según ella, para ser nombrado pionero, necesito logros. Vale, vamos aquí. Comparativa alienígena. El profesor Eric trabaja en un proyecto de conservación comparativo de la fauna salvaje. Recorre el cúmulo a la lectura de toda la fauna salvaje que descubras.
It's that scourge I'm wondering about. Standard colony radiation shield can handle it, but I hate should.
Please be advised that Hyperion docking procedures are now complete.
The beauty of the cosmos unfolds in your planet scans, Pathfinder. But there is more they can do.
Do you have something in mind, Doctor?
Plans for a school are underway to inspire a new generation of young minds. I want to craft a model of the cluster for them, accurate and splendid from your data. My prototype is on that console. Add more scans to improve it, and I will share my educational budget with you. And my thanks.
Vale, esto de todas las plantas que he investigado, lo meto aquí y me dará crédito, supongo. Ya que nosotros somos por definición una especie invasiva en Andrómeda, debemos ser cautos a la hora de dejar nuestra impronta inevitable y debemos conservar todo lo que sustituyamos. El cúmulo de Leo representa un desafío inesperado. Llegamos con bancos de semillas y de ADN para asegurarnos de preservar la biodiversidad de la Vía Láctea. Este cúmulo se encuentra devastado por la miasma. Su peculiar flora y fauna se ven amenazadas por su turbulencia. Esto también requiere un esfuerzo de conservación. Notas de los parches. Perfeccionada conexión con una herramienta, retardo mínimo, reconocimiento de voz para que reconozca distintas pronunciaciones, interfaz áptica. Ya no es transparente por defecto, también resuelve el problema, no se encontró interfaz áptica. Activar. Doctora León Aridana. Los modelos de los 3 sistemas iniciales estarán terminados de la semana que viene. Veremos el lugar que ocupamos en el mundo. Variación orbital del Nexus debe corregirse, ya que la construcción corrige nuestra orientación. Nuestras hijas no conocerán la éxtasis, el sueño de 600 años. Nacerán en Andrómeda, presente lo que se presente. El cúmulo está sumido en el caos. No nos da la bienvenida, no importa tanto lo que suframos como lo que podamos aportar. Escanea 16 minerales. Vamos a ver dónde está el mapa, a ver si nos manda a algún lado. Aquí está Khan, el vendedor. al primer asesino, está todo. Y ahora supongo sería habla con Tan. Vale, escanea planetas por todo el Eus. Escanea la fauna salvaje de Andrómeda. Hablar con Tan. Escanear minerales. Buscar la nave científica desaparecida. Esta está toda. Toda completa. Y completa. Pues bueno, vamos a hablar con Tan.
This is the planet where we landed. Habitat 7. It wasn't even close to livable.
That's been true of every world we found. Ryder, we were discussing your next expedition.
I thought I didn't measure up as Pathfinder.
Director Addison keeps her own counsel. I keep mine.
And when you disagree?
I oversee the entire initiative, and I have decided to give you a chance to prove yourself. To that end, the Scourge dealt us a serious blow. Whatever it is, our scientists theorize it's not natural.
An artificial energy cloud?
It wasn't here when we left the Milky Way, yet it rendered all the golden worlds unlivable. Then there's the aliens you ran into, the Ket. They're obsessed with alien structures we found scattered around the cluster. They'll do anything to prevent others from accessing them. It seems murder isn't exclusive to the Milky Way. And now the challenge is to settle a world in spite of all that. This one here. Eos.
How?
You need to increase the viability of the planet so we can establish an outpost. Then we can bring more colonists out of stasis. The more colonists we have, the more resources we can gather to support the Nexus. Everything depends on it. There are 6 worlds we hope to settle.
Okay, but you said every planet you found is unlivable. So, how do I...
A good Pathfinder would relish the challenge of solving it.
Right. I think I should go check on things.
And if I fail, I guess it's no sweat off your back, right? You'll just look for another Pathfinder?
Placing bets on people is part of my job. Some of them pay off. Others...
Just point me to my ship and I'll be out of here.
They're prepping it now in the docking bay. The coordinates for Eos will be in the computer. And when you have a moment, we should discuss the missing arcs.
I was wondering about that. Ah.
Something wrong?
Ryder, keep Simi and Sam node on the Hyperion. Your implant needs attention, and we need to discuss a confidential matter.
No, I'm fine.
Asunto confidencial. Vamos a hablar sobre lo que tenemos que hablar.
Condolences for your father.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role in planning the initiative. I'm sure he'd be concerned that we still have several arcs missing.
Any idea where they went?
Nothing certain, but tens of thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light. Did you have some other business?
I'm looking into the Nilk and Rensis murder charge.
And?
I want to go to Eos and retrieve Chief Reynolds' body.
That isn't usually Pathfinder business.
First murder in Andromeda, and I'm impartial. Figured you'd want to get it right.
Settling an outpost comes first. But I suppose I have no objections. Physical evidence will only bolster the case.
The more certain we can be, the better.
All right, but let's keep it quiet. I don't want people thinking we're reopening the case. I hope anything you find reaffirms what's been done, but if it sheds a different light, we'll deal with it. We'll send the coordinates of the murder scene. Good luck.
Bueno, vamos a preguntarle sobre todo lo demás.
It sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly, I would say we're more than up for the challenge. Privately, I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, is dead.
How did Gene Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed. They were killed instantly. These people traveled 600 years and died before they even woke up. Gian Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
Cantor's mentioned something about hitting the Scourge. How did it play out?
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed. We had no choice but to turn to the Krogan to deal with them. They crushed the mutiny and the criminals were banished. Exiles, we call them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloane Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
Who is this Sloane Kelly?
She was head of security on the Nexus. She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them. Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen? Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded a greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved. Their muscle, nothing more. Good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
Why don't you like the Krogan?
It's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species. Long ago, they waged nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people tried to uplift them, but the Krogan could never tame their worst instincts. What if they bring their tempers to Andromeda? We'll all be dead.
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No one had ventured beyond the Milky Way before. We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune, perhaps a new beginning. We are the bravest souls each species has to offer. I hope the Nexus will serve as the seat of government for us all.
What do you know about the early days of the initiative?
As most everyone knows, Gian Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth. Wealthy, young for a human. Garson had the idea for the initiative in the early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered. And as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
Why do you think most people came?
There are thousands of reasons, one for every colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek? Usually, happiness. Finding the thing that eludes them, the thing to fulfill them. While we cannot promise they will find it, we can facilitate the search.
It looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the Arcs. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda. Though I'm not sure what they were thinking, lumping Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian, my kind tend to have a low opinion of them. Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
El papel de Tan.
As director of the initiative, are you in charge around here or what?
If the others would allow me, they don't see me as the rightful successor.
So how does anything get done?
In theory, Kesh handles the Nexus's physical operations, Kandros runs the militia, and Addison manages colonial affairs. I oversee all of it. In practice, we argue, debate, and yell at each other until a decision is made. If we're lucky. It is maddening.
What's their problem with you?
I am not Gian Garson. Our founder was charismatic, eccentric, larger than life. Traits I cannot hope to mimic. She and her inner circle perished in the Scourge, some at the hands of the Exiles, some never made it out of stasis. I was deputy assistant for revenue management. Then all 7 leaders above me died. I was next in line for the role.
So, you're an accountant.
Don't let that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea of exploring space. Life had its detours, and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative, and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
Right. Sorry. Any more information you can give me on the missing arcs?
No, and that is the distressing part. The Asari, Turian, and Solarian arcs are completely unaccounted for. If they had the same problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst. Should you find any clues, please investigate. Without the other arcs, the promise of the initiative can never be fulfilled.
Are there any other arcs we should expect?
We had hoped Quarians would be part of the first wave, but before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species as well. Managing all of their biological needs caused complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
What do I need to consider in making a planet viable?
Assuming the planet supports life, an outpost is critical. People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the Cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being murdered on sight can be discouraging. Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
What can you tell me about forward stations?
I was afraid you'd ask. It's mostly what the engineers tell me. A forward station allows mining, equipment repairs, and resupply for field teams. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But seeing as how every colonization effort has failed, it's just theory at the moment. You get to test it out, Ryder.
Vale, parece que las estaciones esas son bastante importantes.
You will find our futures depend on each other's success. Good luck.
Pues bueno, parece que hemos completado todas las misiones. Vamos a hablar con Sam. Y a ver qué nos cuenta Sam de lo que tengamos por hacer. Vale, está todo. Lo único que nos queda es hablar con Sam. Y hasta ahí lo dejaremos. A ver si encuentro dónde sería. No sé para qué quiere subirse ahí. Vale, si no me equivoco sería por aquí. Tenemos que ir a la Hyperion.
Hey there.
You okay? Those guys really drilled you. And Addison. First Pathfinder they've seen in over a year. All she can do is question your competence?
She understands the stakes. If I fail, we...
You won't.
Let's hope not.
You won't. That's the end of it. I worked out logistics with Director Tan. They're giving us a ship and crew. He said their best is taken care of.
I still need to head back to the Ark and check in with Sam.
Sounds good. While you're there, maybe see how your sister's doing.
Technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling
Vamos a ver un momento las habilidades. Estábamos con... Pedía actitud para el combate. Bueno, vamos a esperar para poder hacerlo en el campo, para ver lo que solicitaba. A ver, ¿qué es esto? Sección criogénica, residencial. Vamos a la criogénica para ver a la hermana. Vale, si no me equivoco, aquí debería de estar la hermana. Desconocido y muro informativo, sí.
I'll make it right, Dash. Pathfinder, I'm Nigel McCoy. Just got out of cryo.
Welcome to Andromeda, Nigel.
Thank you. It's bittersweet, though. My little brother Dash was stationed on the Nexus. I just learned he died on Eos, trying to start a settlement.
That's awful. I'm sorry, Nigel.
Yeah. We were gonna start families out here together. I have a pendant our father wore. Dash had its match. Will you?
Bueno, parece que tenemos otra misión.
Of course.
In his digital journal, he mentioned a spot on Eos where he'd go to think. If you could leave the pendant there.
Vamos a ver si conseguimos algo más.
Fisher, glad to see you're doing better.
That was some expedition, eh? Captain said I'm going in the log as the first human to make contact with the Ket. And Kirkland's the first casualty. Wish it could have gone differently.
Wasn't your fault. It's obvious the Ket aren't friendly. Nothing we did could have changed that.
I suppose you're right. It's just not what you dream about. Meet a new species and 3 seconds later they're trying to kill you.
I hear you. But I guess that's life. Not everyone will see things our way. In the meantime, chin up. It'll get better.
A ver qué más podemos conseguir. Greer.
Greer, how you feeling?
Grateful. If you and Liam hadn't found me in that cave, God knows what those aliens would have done.
We couldn't leave him behind.
Yeah, your father, and Kirkland.
We'll never forget their sacrifice. It's a brave thing, risking your life for the greater good.
Yeah. Just seems unfair. We barely got here. I'm sorry I'm not out there with you, but Kirkland was a friend, and I'm not cut out for this anymore.
Understood. Habitat 7 was a nasty wake-up call. You take care, Greer.
You too. Thanks again.
Bueno, supongo que este tío ya no se unirá a nuestro grupo nunca más.
Ryder.
Hey, how's the wound?
Doc says I'll live. So this goes from a life-threatening gunshot to a story I'll tell my grandkids someday.
With no need to exaggerate. That was a tough fight on Habitat 7.
Just glad to be on the other side of it.
Vale, este es el Dr. Carlyle. No podemos, supongo que esta es nuestra hermana.
Ryder, good to see you. damn shame about your dad, though. I'm sorry we couldn't save him.
I haven't heard how he died.
Like a hero. That's how. That's the only part that matters. I've met one Pathfinder. Well, two with you. But I figure that's the way to go. Taking your last breath on an uncharted world.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Now I just need to make sure your sister here pulls through.
How's Sarah doing?
Her condition's stable. I see signs of REM activity in the brain, so she's dreaming. Means all the wiring still works.
How'd this happen?
It was dumb luck, really. We hit the Scourge at the worst possible moment, just as the stasis revival was kicking in. It's a vulnerable moment coming out of a 600-year nap, then wham! Circuits fried and overloaded the neural pathways. Don't worry, I'm on it. We're not losing another rider.
Are you staying here on the Hyperion?
You know that moment when you realize you're just getting too old? Right, like who I'm talking to. Trust me, it happens. For me, it was Habitat 7. Watching you guys running around, dodging lightning and the cat, it's a young man's game. Pains me to admit it, but it's passed me by.
What will you do on the Hyperion?
We still have thousands of people taking a nap here, and they need tending to. And this way I can look out for Sarah.
How did you end up with the initiative?
Well, you reach a point in life where you wonder, is that all there is? I'd accomplished everything in the Milky Way I could. I was locked into a future of diminishing returns. So coming here was the world's biggest midlife crisis. A chance to wake up in the morning and feel hope instead of arthritis.
That's all, Harry. Thanks.
Don't be a stranger.
Básicamente quería una aventura antes de ser viejo. Vamos a ver el muro informativo. A ver qué pone. Nada, por lo visto no dice nada nuevo. Pues bueno, vamos a ir a donde Sam y lo dejaremos ahí, que ya va siendo tarde. Parece que no podemos abrir ninguna de estas puertas por ahora. No sé si más adelante podremos. Me había olvidado del chisme este. Pero supongo que aquí no sirve de nada. Parece que no puedo hacer nada por aquí. Pocas cosas que contarse. A la gente no le gusta hablar, por lo visto. Viene por aquí, ¿vale? Por ahí arriba. Giramos, nos metemos en el cuartito este, sistema de información. Aquí no sé qué habrá. Aquí es donde Sam, imagino. Vamos a ver qué es esto de sistema de archivos. Vale, parece que hemos encontrado algo interesante.
The day is finally here. We're pushing off from Earth. We'll jump through a few relays first, and then we hunker down for a long trip across dark space. It's daunting thinking about all the hopes and dreams aboard the Hyperion. I certainly have my own. I wasn't the husband or father I should have been. Here's hoping 600 years can change a man.
Engineer reports the drive system has been powered down. Non-essential areas will remain standby zone.
Sam, this is a reminder about Dr. Liara Tassoni. She's an Asari archaeologist I corresponded with a few years back. She's got experience studying ancient cultures. Make sure the team gets her research. It could be useful in Andromeda.
Pretty sure my sister's mentioned Dr. Tassoni. An expert on Protheans, I think.
I have loaded Dr. Tassoni's research onto data pads.
Hello, Alec. This is Dr. Tassoni. I'm flattered you contacted me. Most scientists dismiss my work, but I'm young and Asari, and they are getting older. So we will see who has the final word. In the meantime, I'm happy to pass along my research. I hope your team finds it useful. Hello, Alec. I received your message. I must say the thought of exploring another galaxy has my head spinning. I am honestly not sure how people could survive a trip like that. And anyway, I could not bear to leave the Milky Way behind. There is so much about the Protheans I still hope to learn here. So much potential wisdom to tap. I wish you much good luck and future success.
Dunn's agreed to a scouting mission on Habitat 7. I'm gearing up now. I'm worried about Sarah. Dr. Pionero says she'll be fine, but she's my daughter. How can I not worry? I hate to leave her like this. It's these moments when you wish you told your children you love them more often. Or ever. Which brings me to the tough part. Kids, if anything happens to me, there are things you're gonna find out. I hope you'll understand.
That log is inaccessible at this time. That log is inaccessible at this
Parece
time.
que no puedo acceder a ningún diario.
That log is inaccessible at this time. That log is inaccessible at this
Sí,
time.
no puedo a ninguno. Se irán desbloqueando, si no me equivoco, paso por paso. Al menos hemos encontrado algo interesante. A ver qué es esto.
The coffee machine Mom got for Dad. He was so busy designing you, needed the caffeine.
I did not realize I owed my existence to a being.
And now
Vaya, me gustaría poder coger algo de aquí.
I am Dr. Liara Tassoni, and I've spent several decades researching ancient Protheans. It is common knowledge that the Protheans were an advanced race that flourished in the Milky Way about 50,000 years ago, then went extinct. Even at the time of this writing, the year 2182, their culture remains a mystery. During my studies, I have developed some practices that can be used when analyzing any ancient culture. I hope they may prove useful for the research community.
Printed books.
Reproductions of Lewis and Clark's journals, detailing their expedition in the 19th century.
Explains Dad's interest. They were Pathfinders too. Printed books.
Vale, parece que no puedo hacer nada más.
Explains Dad's interest. They were Pathfinders too.
Así que creo que en principio vamos a ver a Sam. Y la próxima conexión iremos a ver la parte de aquí abajo, si es que hay algo. Así que vamos a hablar con Sam, a ver qué nos cuenta.
I've adjusted my connection to your implant. The headache you experienced before shouldn't reoccur.
Yeah, what was that about? You said we need to discuss something confidential.
You should know certain facts before you leave on your expedition. It seemed best to speak alone.
I don't understand the need for secrecy.
Your father felt it was for the best.
What was he trying to hide?
My true capabilities. Alec overrode the implant safety protocols. It allows me unrestricted access to the Pathfinder's physiology.
And that's me now.
And only you. I can act as a force multiplier, dramatically enhancing your motor and neural skills when required. Alec called them profiles. They provide unique tactical augmentation during combat. Your father preferred to keep this fact to himself.
La verdad es que sí, el secretismo puede hacerte paranoico. No creo que... Bueno, también podría asustar a la gente. Vamos a poner este. De que a lo mejor la gente tuviera miedo de que el pionero intentara algo.
I can understand. People might get the wrong idea. Super soldiers. A computer having control over a human.
Providing an enhancement to the human. It is a symbiotic relationship that benefits both.
What do you get out of it?
Though I'm artificial in design, I am fully sentient, far beyond what even the initiative understands.
I don't follow. You're an AI. So what's different?
I am a new form of AI, drawing directly from the human experience. Your implant is my window into the world.
O sea, que tiene conciencia propia.
But beyond what many people will accept, your father knew some would fear it.
Yeah, he's got a point. So what does this mean for the two of us?
I find myself in an unusual position. Though I had access to your father's experiences, there is a gap in my understanding.
How so?
He placed a block on portions of my memory array.
Why?
Perhaps so when you asked me what his plan was, I wouldn't know.
And Dad strikes again.
But not without recourse. The further you explore as a Pathfinder, the more blocks will be removed. Perhaps you should begin in your father's quarters. In the meantime, unless you have more questions, your new ship awaits.
Thanks.
Los perfiles permiten a Sam configurar el implante de Raider para ofrecer un rendimiento superior en el campo de batalla. Elige un perfil y pulsa X para activarlo. Por ahora parece que solo podemos el de infiltrado, que es el que está iluminado. Especialistas en tecnología de combate que suelen concentrarse en la precisión de los disparos y evitar los ataques. Este perfil potencia la capacidad mental y visual de Raider para poder seguir a sus enemigos en el caos del combate. Infiltrado rango 2, 12 puntos de habilidad invertidos en combate y otros tantos en tecnología. Invierte en habilidad de combate, tecnología y biotech para desbloquear más perfiles de distintos estilos. Vale, para lo visto esto era lo último que me faltaba. El explorador es un todoterreno con habilidades de combate y bióticas, pero también tecnológicas, ¿vale? Eso faltó ahí. Este perfil reconfigura la mente y el cuerpo de Raider para potenciar su versatilidad Permite pasar rápidamente, disparar armas, desplegar tecnología o exprimir poderes bióticos. Este es interesante, el desplazamiento biótico. Como vemos, o sea, cuando usamos la evasión, por lo visto, pero todavía no está activado, ¿vale? Pues, por lo visto, si usamos la evasión, que supongo será el botón círculo, nos ocultaremos durante un breve periodo de tiempo. Este está bastante bien, aumenta mucho más las estadísticas que este otro. Observa a los enemigos a través de las paredes cuando uses una mira. Vaya, el de vanguardia, 50% de daño cuerpo a cuerpo. Este es como lo que decía, un tanque, ¿no? Daño cuerpo a cuerpo, 20%. Fuerza, 50%. Sí, es como lo que parece, un tanque. Los centinelas son únicos, pues aportan tanto tecnología como capacidad biótica. Crea una conexión directa entre el implante de Raider y los sistemas informáticos de su armadura para proporcionarle protección por medio de un escudo. Restablecimiento, poderes de defensa. Este no parece mucho. Este más que nada parece autodefensa. Especialistas en biótica, capaces de neutralizar y matar a enemigos con potentes campos de efecto de masa. Por lo visto, esta es la especialización de biótica. Se basa todo en aumentar los efectos de las habilidades bióticas. El ingeniero potencia las torretas, imagino, y demás habilidades. Dron de combate. Por lo visto es un dron aturdidor que explota por proximidad. Y el soldado, pues, especialista en armas a distancia. Por ahora vamos a tener este, ¿vale? Pero en verdad me gusta bastante el explorador. Principalmente por una habilidad que tiene. No por la habilidad, sino porque hay habilidades de combate que me interesan. La unigranada no. La barricada tampoco. ¿Dónde está? Creo que estaba por aquí. Era la de lanzarse, no sé si sería biótica. Pues no, posiblemente fuera solo biótico. Esta habilidad me interesa bastante. Aniquilación. Bueno chicos, hasta aquí lo vamos a dejar, ¿vale? No vamos a perder más el tiempo, ya lo miraremos el próximo día. Así que nos despedimos.